6:30, call the meeting to order. Certify compliance with the open records law.
Yes.
We'll have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Hayden.
Here.
Councilmember Hooker.
Here.
Councilmember Menke.
Here.
Councilmember Raisler.
Here.
Councilmember Weisenbeck.
Here.
Councilmember Weishaupt.
Here.
All six in favor.
Next, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would somebody like to make a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make the motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Are there any public comments? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on something on the agenda or any other item? You can do that. Please identify yourself for the record. Hearing none. We don't have any scheduled appearances. Next thing we're going to have is a special presentation. And you notice we don't have one of the people here, but that's okay. We always like to honor those folks that serve on this group and so on. So this is an opportunity to do so. And tonight we have former council member Steve Schofield here. And Steve served 2 different stints on the city council from 2001 to 05, and then again from 07 to 2023. During that time, of course, served in several capacities, including as council vice president. Also chaired many committees, pretty much almost everything over at some point. Did you almost chair it all at one point?
I think so, yeah.
So anyway, we have presented to Steve Schofield an appreciation of 20 years of service as an alderman for the city of Durand. Steve, come on up. We got this plaque. You can turn around the stage. Again, thanks for your service. I think I appreciate it. The city appreciates it. Everybody does. So thank you. Okay, thanks, Steve. And the other one on there, we'll try to fit that in sometime. We can do that soon. Next, move on to the consent agenda. The following matters may be acted upon by the city council utilizing a single vote. Individual items which any member wishes to address or in greater detail or as a separate item on the regular agenda may be removed from the consent agenda upon the request of any council member. We have the minutes from the regular city council meeting from August 9th, 2023. Bartender's license for Courtney E. Whelan for the Rooster Tail Bar, and Desiree J. Anderson for the Corral Bar. Picnic license for St. Mary's Assumption Parish Fall Festival at 1911 West Prospect Street on Saturday, September 10th, 2023.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Would someone like to make a motion concerning the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's agreed to. Next, move on to the business agenda, administration, mayor's report. We've got a few things to get caught up on. First of all, I'd like to thank all the folks that were involved in having another successful season with the swimming pool, especially to Matt Gillis and his staff, and of course Steve Walton, the pool director, and all of those folks, whether it was mechanical issues to make sure that we got through. Look at the number of kids that went through swimming lessons and the use of the pool, which I'm assuming at some point we'll get full reports on exactly where we're at, but again, a good year. Also, obviously, to Scott, Angie, and Jenny, as far as scheduling, also getting information out and taking care of registrations and so on for lessons and so on and so forth. So I just would like to say, on behalf of the city, appreciative of everybody's work and effort to have another successful pool season.
And the lifeguards.
The what?
And the lifeguards.
That's correct, yeah, well, I said in staff, I
Oh,
guess,
sorry.
all the
Yeah,
lifeguards, I said the word lifeguards, yeah, so, and all those folks that did that, so. I'd like to congratulate Blues on the Chippewa for another successful event. Lots of people in town, and I think they really enjoyed it, seems like everything went really well, and so on. So again, congratulations to the Blues on the Chippewa. Also to the Dig Group for Music in the Park. 3 events this past summer, each one of them well attended, and again, it's a great community thing, so congratulations to Dig on another successful summer of music in the park. Also, would like to remind everybody, of course, school is here. Best of luck to all the area students. Wish everybody a safe and happy school year. And again, just looking forward to a lot of exciting things out of the school district coming up this year. The last thing I would like to end with is a little bit of a personal note. I would like to thank everybody who, as everybody knows, recently had a tragedy in my family concerning the loss of my nephew in a car accident. I would like to thank everybody on the city staff and the council who helped. As I took a little bit of time away, especially to Council President Travis Hooker for covering for the last meeting. I'd like to say a special thank you on behalf of myself and my family for all of the first responders who were involved in the situation. You don't really know about the professionalism until it's in a situation that's right in front of you. Special thank you to the Pepin County Sheriff's Department, especially Matt Reisler, for the professionalism and everything that they did concerning my family. All the other agencies that were there, including the Durand Police Department and the Wisconsin State Patrol, the Durand Fire Department, the Durand Ambulance, and everybody else that was involved in the situation. On behalf of myself, we say thank you. And again, the importance, appreciation of local first responders. And again, I say thank you. Any questions? If not, we didn't bring anything off the consent agenda. We'll move on to the administrator's report.
Just a couple minor things, and we'll talk a little bit more on the budget process. I see under number 4 there. Just a big reminder, we've been talking at length now about our community development block grant program that we have for low-income folks to housing rehabilitation, things of that nature. We had a discussion again with Cedar Corps, who administers that grant for us, that there has not been a lot of interest. There's only been one additional person that has even inquired on it. Recall that we had, I think it was at least 5 people that the loans were paid off. So we've got nearly $155,000 in the fund to be used. And frankly, if we do not use it, and we don't ask me the time frame because we don't really know, but if we don't use it, we have the potential of it being taken away from us. So we're trying really hard to get folks to at least inquire on the program and hopefully use the program. We're still looking at, I know there's a discussion of direct mailing, and frankly, probably 90% of the people in town wouldn't even qualify, so I don't like the direct mailing piece. But one piece that I think that maybe we will consider is, we know some of the properties that are in need, and I think direct mail or even call or letters, again, this is supposed to be a pretty confidential program. The loan portion of it is completely confidential. Things of that nature. Those of you that are on that committee that have dealt with these folks know that, again, we don't know who they are. We have a rough idea what their mortgages are and things of that nature, so we're not investing in a property that we might not ever get our money back. But again, we know who, we think we have a good idea who needs help, and I think that would probably be our next step. But again, we strongly encourage people to step up, and if you have questions, certainly you can start with us, and then we'll turn you over and give you an overview of the program, and then turn you over to Cedar for, again, the behind-the-scenes type pieces. And I guess the other side is, this is, it's clearly low income. We're not talking about, there's a lot of retirees in town, things of that nature that we know they're on fixed incomes that could potentially benefit from this as well. And it's really across the board: windows, roofs, everything. So again, we talked about it a lot, and I would hate to see that, that potentially that program go away for lack of use, because I think there are people that can benefit from it. So we'll keep plugging away there. I think Angie did touch base a little bit prior to the meeting. We do have League of Wisconsin Municipalities annual meeting coming up in October, the 18th through the 20th. It's really a great event. To mix and see other people and the presentations and the vendors. Strongly encourage anyone who's interested to go. A number of you around the table here obviously have gone. For some of you new folks, it is a great thing. But let us know ASAP so we can get our hotel rooms and make sure we're not staying on the other side of Lambeau or something. So. The mayor asked just quickly before the meeting how the lawn maintenance things are. Kudos to the residents. It's going very well. Few properties here and there that seem to be repeat offenders. I think, Matt and his crew have only had to go out and mow a couple times this year on behalf of some people. So for the most part, when we get a complaint and we put a note on the door, it gets done. So hopefully we'll continue down that path. So except for the budget stuff coming up next, that's all I have.
Any questions for the city administrator? Next, we move on, discussion on the 2024 budget process and preliminary meeting dates.
I'll be talking, thank you,
See.
Steve. Yeah. I'll be talking more of the specifics of some of these things, but one of the pieces I did want to get out here is we did have a staff meeting here recently and looking to set up the specific meetings for, and again, I'll try not to be so vague for some of our new folks, but essentially, so if you're on the Public Works Committee, the Public Works Committee will go through every piece of Matt's budget, from all the way from our day-to-day snow plowing and yard maintenance, park maintenance and things of that, water, sewer, stormwater utilities, all of his capital, street projects in the future, and all of those will go before the committee, and ultimately the operational pieces for the 2024 budget will be approved or recommended by the committee next to the finance committee, and then for our public hearing. And that'll hold true for basically for public safety as well, which obviously will oversee Stan's budget, and Chief King's and Co-Director Bignell and Dowdy. So we wanted to set those dates, and I think we've got basically at this point what we're looking at is for Public Works, we're looking for, these are all in October. October the 4th, there's no meeting that night, it's the first 4th, so that's, and to be honest, the Public Works meeting is typically been about a 3-hour meeting. 2.5, 3-hour meeting, that's pretty close, right, Matt? So
We're gonna do it in an hour this year.
If you do it a lot quicker, you just say yes.
Looks great, yep.
So I would anticipate these to be 4:30 or 5 o'clock start times if possible. So that's what we have scheduled for Public Works, Wednesday the 4th of October. Public Safety we have scheduled for prior to the council meeting of the 11th. And if we can't get all 3 departments in, certainly we can work to schedule another one. One of the big pieces of Plug Stan is if we're going to be talking about the potentiality of an additional officer, that may garner a little more discussion than we've had in the past years. But frankly, ambulance and fire are pretty short. I would say that's probably a 2-hour meeting, I would think. But again, I'm not, we can make them last as long as you want until all your questions are answered. But I think in the past, typically it's been about a 2-hour meeting with, probably fair to say, the police department being about 45 minutes and the other 2 split, maybe not even quite that long. So for those of you on that committee, we're shooting for the 11th. And then we'd be looking at a finance meeting on the 25th, before the council meeting of the 25th. And that would be the week after the municipality meeting, 18th, 19th, 20th. And essentially what the finance committee then would be doing would be going over the administrative pieces. We look at revenue there, and then just kind of everything together. We have all the departments together to that point to kind of look at what our tax rates might be and what the overall budget would be and levy. And so that's what we're shooting for there. Then with all that being said, we're looking at similar to what we did last year. I know it says on the calendar for November now that we scheduled our second council meeting as the 8th and then the 22nd. But what we did last year, and I talked to Mayor Iron about this, is we probably have the public hearing for the budget on the 15th. So we would have just one meeting potentially one big meeting in November on the 15th that would cover the budget hearing and any final budget deliberations. And that would allow us to get 2 things. One, it allows us to get our 2-week public notice in the paper following that finance meeting on the 25th of October. And then obviously to get our information to the county in time to print tax bills in time so everyone can get them before Christmas.
And again, that usually always works out because of course you throw Thanksgiving in there, the 4th,
Right,
so
yeah.
we just go ahead and have the one meeting with the budget hearing on the 3rd and then the 3rd week, and then that's usually worked out in the past.
And fair to say, Mayor, we probably would not meet on the 22nd of November for Thanksgiving, maybe the 29th for the pay bills and whatever might.
Yeah, if there was a need for it, we would make that decision, but obviously not during Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Could I ask a favor of maybe Angie or somebody to send out an email with all of these listed in it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Once the dates and times get settled.
Yeah, and please let us know if there are conflicts. I know, Mark, you have potentially some issues, and And the other part, I should have brought the committee list. I'm not even sure that, you know, in Public Works and Safety, which one of those you might even be on. But yeah, take a look at your schedules and see if you have any conflicts, let us know ASAP, and obviously we will work around them.
As long as I know ahead of time, it's done.
Okay, okay. Because, yeah, I mean, one thing of this is, you know, clearly we want everyone at the committee levels to be at their oversight level. If someone can't make it, we're gonna do our best to reschedule so they can. So I think we think it's important enough that everyone attends those.
The only possible issue that I think that night you mentioned for the finance, I know we have a county board meeting that
Oh,
night.
okay.
And I don't know how that lines up with their
Yeah.
budget ones.
Sure.
And so, well, I suppose it might impact,
Bejo.
BJO
Yeah.
too, so.
Okay.
And it would probably be one where if it does, I'll just appear at theirs, the parts that I need to talk at, and then be here, so.
And to be honest with you on that one, you know, we picked the 25th to just make it one meeting night, and so, you know, we're probably amenable to the 24th, the 26th.
Okay.
if that
Actually, it was
would
the
work.
15th, I think. Didn't you
Oh, you're
mention
talking about the budget
On the
here.
budget hearing?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh.
the public hearing, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that one,
Or is that
honestly,
something isn't a
that
big deal?
one has almost gotta be in
Okay.
stone.
Okay.
Yeah, but we can talk about that some more, I guess. I'm sorry, Matt, I was thinking you were talking about finance. Yeah, that's for the public hearing, okay. On the plus side, for the most part, typically we have everything worked out by
Yeah.
then, but yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Any questions concerning the budget process? And of course, as we get through, anytime during the process, if there's questions, feel free to ask. Why do we spend money on things? Why don't we? What else could be fit in the budget? Why we have to take certain monies that come in, go for certain things, and all those types of things. Make sure we're asking those questions as we go through the process.
And I'm assuming you have not heard on health insurance premiums.
That one is all, you know, once again, it said it would be great if we had that by the end of October. That's what we shoot for every year. And it typically always trickles in about the first week in November. So, yeah.
And at least to get a feel for maybe where those numbers are and to sort of incorporate, to at least give an idea. But you're right, it would be nice to have the hard numbers. Any other questions for the city administrator? Okay, next we move discussion possible action regarding the renewal of the contract between the Durand, Arkansas Board of Education and the city of Durand for the library board, or for the library. We forgot to put the word library there, but we do. Okay, everybody was given a copy of the amended agreement, the updated agreement. If you want to talk quickly about the process, how we
Sure.
we got this?
Yeah, you recall that clearly there was a little bit of angst when the school district essentially gave a notice to essentially renegotiate this. Fair to say that some of us that knew some things behind the scenes, and certainly Councilmember Hayden, who's on the library board, can probably reiterate this as well. I think, well, I'll just speak for myself. We're all pretty positive we were gonna be able to work this out. I'm pleasantly surprised at how quickly, frankly, we worked it out, but I think that's a testament to both the library board and obviously the school district, and in particular Administrator Doverspike. And we had some things that we wanted to work out, and they got worked out pretty quickly. So here we are, essentially looking at an extension of the contract, and that's basically outlined in 13.1 of the term of the contract. So this contract basically commences January 1st, 2025, and goes through the end of December of 2029. So a 5-year contract. A big piece of that, it talks about the rent that the library pays. They had already agreed before we were moving forward in the $21,500, and then the annual increase of $500 is frankly about a 2% increase. So it's quite reasonable for the 5 years of that contract. But all the other kind of there's a number of things that were changed in this that were somewhat perfunctory, and this is noted. I mean, this was written up back in, or first amended, I should say, back in '97. A lot of the things that are in here were when we first started this process. They don't need to be in there anymore, and I know that was a big deal for Administrator Doverspike to get those out and really clean this contract up, which he basically took a good stab at, and ultimately the library board, and fair to say the library board is in agreement. They just haven't met yet to finalize a couple weeks time.
Yeah,
But,
11th, I think.
but again, I think everyone at this point is in agreement to, with what's in here, otherwise frankly, I wouldn't have brought it here before you tonight. So, there's not a lot of meat in here, I think there was some more behind the scenes pieces that got ironed out, and I'm happy to report that I think we're in good shape for another, basically until the end of this decade. And I guess I would also say, you've heard me say this a number of times, that I think this is, the arrangement that we have in the city of Durand between the Durand, Public Library and with the school district, I think it's a very unique setup, and I think it's a very good one. It's very both economically and working together. I think it's a great thing. I think more small cities should do the same. So I was happy to see that, again, we were frankly pretty easily and pretty quickly able to work out some of the minor differences that we had.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
any
think,
questions, Don or Don? Yeah.
I think that the meeting we had was very well attended, very well received. I don't think there was anything major issues in there. Just wanted to get everything cleaned up real well and take out some of the stuff that was more policy than it was contracted. And the library board is redoing their policy book too, so with all that, I think this will work out real well.
So the library board has not reviewed this?
The library board has gone through this
Completely gone through
with
this,
the
yeah.
completely gone through with the administration of the school.
Okay. And their take is okay of what we're seeing?
Yeah, we kind of put this together with the administration that night. We had a joint meeting with Greg and yeah, everybody was in agreement that this worked out well the way we needed it to.
Seriously, I wasn't there for the entire meeting, but I mean, they went through it point by point, and it was, well, maybe we don't agree with this, and let's tweak this a little, and Greg was just there typing, and so what you see, Matt, is exactly that. I mean, again, the full library, you're missing one member of the library board, but everyone else, yeah. So, again, I think this is gonna be pretty much rubber stamped at the library board.
Yeah, I believe so.
And that was just kind of my question. I didn't want to, if we were making a motion to approve this or something.
Right.
For us to approve it before the library
Yeah.
board even looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, what we're basically would be doing tonight, that we would agree to it. If there, for some reason, if there was something that did come up, we would deal with it. But I think this is to, and then they would approve it, we get it, of course, to the full, and then it goes to the school board and they would be able to. Any questions concerning the agreement? Somebody like to make a motion?
Make the motion to approve, should I say the amended version, or
Yeah.
the
Amended agreement,
between
yeah.
the
Yep.
Durand, Arkansas Board of Education, City of Durand, and the Durand Public Library Board.
I'll second it.
We have a motion second. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Hooker.
Yes.
Councilmember Weisapple, sorry. I didn't get a chance to write it down. Councilmember Weisapple.
Yes.
Councilmember Weisenbeck.
Yes.
Councilmember Raisler.
Yes.
Councilmember Menke.
Yes.
Councilmember Hagan.
Yes.
All in favor.
Okay. Next we move on to public safety, police department, Chief Ridgway.
Just have a couple things. Worked actually for the arts, and I was teamed up with a new officer that just graduated from the academy. So I spent the 2 days interviewing him basically, and recruited him. And on Monday morning, he had emailed me his application. So I think we got a new part timer that we will be working on the background on this week. So. Therapy dog program, that's really going well. We're getting some great response. We'll start posting some things, updates on that and how our fundraising is going, and thanking some people that have been donating to the program. So that's still, we're still working on that. Everything's going well there. And then the last thing I have is just first home football game is Friday night. We'll be up there again as long as we don't have any emergencies in town directing traffic. We'll turn on the pool lights to help with visibility up there. And then we'll have a squad sitting there to help with traffic there on Highway 85. So, but those are all I have for updates.
Any questions for the chief? You're not? Anything for the fire department?
No, again, Chief King will not be back until, well, this week, I think, and so obviously when we're at the next meeting, he'll have both monthly reports ready.
Anything else from ambulance for this month?
Just a quick, I did hear from Co-Director Bignall that their September schedule is almost filled, so and she said, they actually had to turn some people down, that it wasn't just the same 4 or 5 people, that they've expanded a little bit more with some of our new hires, so that's good news.
Did she say how many people they had signed up for the class, or if they're gonna have the class?
Still needing several more. Response has not been that great down, unfortunately. And again, frankly, we knew it would be a little bit tough, but yeah, still plugging away. I think that does do, I think another week on that is when they do the final numbers.
Okay. Any questions, any other questions about the ambulance? Next, move on to Public Works Utilities. Superintendent Gillis.
Yes, just a few things. One thing some of you might know, some of you may not. One of our F-150 pickup trucks essentially got totaled out here about a week and a half ago. What happened is the A-frame on the front left tire, where it bolts onto the frame cracked and the A-frame basically fell off. So we contacted insurance company, they sent an adjuster out to look at it. The only way to fix it is put new frame under it. Was not cost prohibitive, so the insurance company essentially totaled it out, and they valued that truck at $23,015. So we got a check for $23,015 here the other day. That truck has since been towed away and turned over to the insurance company. So we will be looking at truck options over the next few months, through before and through the budget process, and how we're going to replace that truck. For the time being, basically I have given my truck to the staff, so you see me driving around in my personal truck, using that for the time being for my mode of transportation. So that's what we're kind of doing to get by, but we'll be looking at all options, replacing that truck, either buying a new one, leasing one, continue maybe to pay mileage on mine. We'll look at all 3 options and see what the best option for the city is. Dollar General, the road was closed yesterday morning. They dug in the new sewer to the building, or to the street, tied in. They were supposed to arrive today to pave. Some paver malfunctions late yesterday afternoon delayed that till tomorrow. We talked to the state this morning. They said as long as the detour was working, just leave it closed for today instead of having to fill it up. It's ready for pavement, so in order to open the road up, we would have to level it with rock and then close it back down to pave it. So instead of doing all that, they just were in agreement to leave it closed for today. They had a little prep work up there to do today anyway. So last I was in contact with them, they are planning on being here tomorrow to essentially pave that and open the highway back up tomorrow afternoon sometime. So that's the plan on that. Still working on the curb and gutter down on River Street. Was scheduled to go this week. The curb contractor decided not to pour this week as it's too hot. Concrete and heat don't mix. This type of heat don't mix all that well. So as you can see, a lot of pavements buckling and concrete's buckling with all the heat throughout the state. We are also going to be starting some curb work on Main Street. We're going to be doing it ourselves. There's chunks up Main Street that we're probably going to be pulling out and replacing, and my staff's going to be doing that work themselves. Again, we were going to start that this week, but we pushed it off till next week. Lead and copper results have came back to the city. I just actually got them this morning. Pleasant
Pleasant to report that we are not anywhere near any limits that the state has for lead and copper. I think the copper limit is 15 UG per liter, and our highest was 3. So we're well under any lead regulations from the city. The copper is like 1,300, and ours was like 300 UG per liter. So we're well under all of our lead and copper results for the year. That's a good thing as well. Last but not least, we had a water main break on Main Street, just up the street a block here. About noon this afternoon, discovered water was bubbling out of the ground. Made some phone calls, got all the backhoes en route. It was about 3:45. We started pulling pavement. Shut the water off around 4. Dug down, had the water turned back on 5 or a little after 5. And then they proceeded to backfill and compact, and everything should, I think I heard a truck pulling the shop here about 10-15 minutes ago. So should be up and the road should be open here when we're done with this meeting. Other than that, the rest of unless you have any questions, the rest of my stuff's coming up.
When you had mentioned about the truck, and I don't know if you quickly can explain about when we buy a truck, about getting like a state price or something, and now the rules of that has changed, when you can order stuff?
Yeah, so, well, Ford and Chevy and Dodge now don't take orders year-round like they used to in the past. They open orders up for certain sections of time, they close them down, they reopen them. Right now, as I talk to one of the dealers that does the state contract for Ford, Chevy, and Dodge, currently can't get any Chevy and any Dodge under the state contract. He can't order until after the first of the year. Ford just opened up a 2023 order for their 3.7 liter engine, nothing for the V8, nothing for the 5.0. And he said they just opened that up the other day. He has no idea when that may or may not close. So it's not just like it used to be in the day where we'd call the dealerships, get our pricing, order, and have it within 6 months. So we're looking, if you want anything 2024, nothing can be ordered until after the first of the year through the state contract. The only thing Ford has available is a 3.7 liter 2023 that we could order potentially here in the next, like the gentleman said, he didn't know if they would close it down in 2 days or 2 months or 6 months. So it's 100% on Ford. They don't give any notice. They just, we're done today or tomorrow or next week. So.
And then the other problem is you might order it and that doesn't mean you're getting it.
Yeah.
There's have been, I think last year, like 60,000 squad cars that companies thought or agencies thought they were getting, that just got canceled.
So it's not even going to be an easy process by any means. So.
Is there any specialized stuff on that? Is that like you put a plow on it?
No, it's just a bare bones F-150. So there's not special equipment on it, but what we order is kind of the lower end that doesn't sit on a lot. We order like the work truck that doesn't have all the fancy bells and whistles on it. So you could go try to find an F-150 on the lot, but you're going to be paying sticker price, which is more than what we would if we ended up ordering it.
Does that engine that's open now suffice for what you need it for?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. We're just basically driving around town, a little work truck to bebop around. It has a tow package. It's capable of towing our water trailer and our Ingersoll ran. So yeah, it's nothing that would work. Suffice.
Is that a V8?
That's a V6.
Some of those big trucks are even putting 4 cylinders in now.
Yeah. So it's going to be, again, I'm just in the preliminary process of talking to some people and getting some numbers.
So how do we pay for that?
That's the other question
Yeah,
that we have to sit down and look through and look at the 2020. So essentially right now what I'm hearing, this 2023 Ford, this 3.5 I did get a price on, was just a $44,500 was after our discount. So we got $23,000. from the insurance company, so you're looking at another $21,000 just to buy the truck, and that's not to put warning lights and radio and all that other stuff in there. So you're probably talking another $28,000 on top of what we got from the insurance company to outfit the truck.
Although the truck that we ended up totaling was going to be the next one replaced.
Yes.
So, and the question is about how do we could possibly fit that into the budget, you know, along with the insurance money to get there.
Okay, it'll be a discussion during the budget
Yeah.
process.
Okay. Any other questions on the report? If not, we'll move on. Discussion of possible action regarding the pay request number 1 from Next Level Excavation LLC for the 12th Avenue project in the amount of $34,883.28. You have the pay request in front of you. Matt?
Yes, the pay request came in. We, Kevin Hankis from Cedar Corp and myself have measured and verified all the quantities. Just a couple minor cost overruns on some gravel and some saw cutting that we had to do a little extra. So we are good to pay unless you have any questions or concerns.
The other part of the contract, of course, for the paving for the county, what's, do we have any idea about when that'll be complete?
Looking like probably after Labor Day. They wanted to get Z done, and then I think they have to help Buffalo County for a week. So it's looking like after the week after Labor Day is the tentative schedule that I received.
Any question concerning the pay request? If not, would somebody like to make a motion concerning the pay request?
Make a motion, we approve the pay request for Next Level in the amount of $34,883.28.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve the pay request. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Be the smallest one we'll ever see.
Yeah, for a project.
For a street project.
That's true. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Raisler,
Yes.
Councilmember Hayden,
Yes.
Councilmember Hooker,
Yes.
Councilmember Menke,
Yes.
Councilmember Weisenbeck,
Yes.
Councilmember Weisapple,
Yes.
6 in favor.
Okay. Next, we move on, update on the bid process for the Tarrant Park Swimming Pool project. Looks like everything is ready to go. Matt, if you'd like to speak on that.
Yeah, so everything, all the documents are ready to go. We put some finishing touches on the advertisement for the bids today. So the bids will actually be available on Quest and on the Construction Exchange tomorrow afternoon. They'll be out there, again, just a couple I's to dot and T's to cross. Tomorrow afternoon, U.S. Aquatics will put them out on Quest and on the Exchange for contractors to start pulling plans and submitting a bid. You will see the official bid advertisement in the paper. We can go out for bid before it's in the paper. The paper is just a formality. You will see the advertisement for bid in the paper next Thursday. Obviously, we have to have it to them by noon on Tuesday before it's in, and we couldn't quite meet that deadline this week. So essentially, the bids are due back to the city September 26th at 2 p.m. So the bid opening 2 p.m. on September 26th. Construction will start after April 1st, pending thaw, is what the bid or the advertisement will say, with a construction closeout of May 12th, 2025. So essentially they have just a little over a year to build it. And then down at the bottom, we have until December 14th, say that right, December 14th, to award the bid. So talking to some of the pool contractors, number one, the 90 days that we talked puts us like right in the Christmas season. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't in that Christmas season. We can't go over 90. So we picked the 14th because we have a city council meeting on the 13th scheduled. So we can officially award, basically on the 13th at the council meeting and make the announcement on the 14th pending, all of the things that are still pending. So, and then that'll give the contractors a chance to order, everything for the pool before the first of the year, which I'm being told there's a price increase.
Okay. And as I said, we've approved everything. This is just a reporting situation. Are there any other questions?
Go to church and light some candles.
Thank you. Okay, hearing no other questions, let's pay the bills. As we said, most of the other meetings, the city administrator's already gone over. Any other committees or plan commission, anybody need to meet?
So I did get your question yesterday on that property line issue. I did hear from an attorney today with some final information that they're happy, so we will get that proceeding.
So we'll
Squeeze that in there somewhere.
We'll need a plan commission meeting.
Actually, that's a variance committee meeting.
Almost.
Yeah. So, well, we're gonna do both on that one, yeah. Variance and.
Board of Appeals is gonna happen?
Just the variance piece, because their property lines are gonna be closer than what our ordinances allow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
but they're
okay.
both in agreement, it's like, I don't.
Sure.
No more work. Yeah, so that's not one. In all different ways.
Supposed to thank you. Look at that, there was also, thank you. I didn't realize it was sitting here. Oh. So Brian, how hot did it get in Durand today?
I saw as high as 102 and 98. And, well, actually, and 108 at the Wamandee sign.
What?
The Wamandee
108?
sign said 108.
I saw that too.
But then a block up, it was 98, so.
Yeah, wow, it's a
I
little
mean,
high.
I admit, you know, a little bit higher on the hill, a little higher elevation might be that. I saw 102 in Mondovi. It was nothing. 6 months from now, it's gonna be 125 degrees cold. So just, you know,
That's
and we're
right.
still gonna have water main breaks.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they don't break when it's 65 and sunny all the time. So it's comfortable to work. I know.
The extremes are always the worst. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the vouchers?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the vouchers. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Weisenbeck.
Yes.
Councilmember Raisler,
Yes.
Councilmember Menke,
Yes.
Councilmember Hooker,
Yes.
Councilmember Hayden,
Yes.
Councilmember Weisapple.
Yes.
All six in favor.
Motion's been agreed to, vouchers are approved. Again, we've already talked about future meetings. Does anybody have other future agenda items? And if not, would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. We are adjourned.